Greetings, everyone. This is Mustafaa, your digital marketing specialist, coming at you with another episode of the podcast slash video or YouTube. You may be viewing this or you may be hearing this on the podcast. Today's episode, what I would like to talk about is another thing in digital marketing. I'm really big on content marketing and content creation. But in connection with that, what I would like to talk about is the power of personal branding. The power of producing a brand and identity for yourself online, your personal brand. Because there are billions of people, I believe up to 2 billion get online on any given day. And many of the billion may be saying similar or the same thing. If you're in fashion, it's billions of people saying the same things about fashion. If you're into food, there's billions of saying the same things about food. If you're into exercise, if you're into tech, if you're into music, if you're into, whatever your niche is, there's so many other people saying the same thing. Where an example or analogy I like to use is, say you went into a room and there were 2 billion people in the room and they were all talking. And say you came into a room of 2 billion people and then that were already talking and then you started talking. Your voice, even if you were saying great things, even if you were saying useful things, your voice will be drowned out by the sound of 2 billion people talking, and your voice would have no impact because there's so many people talking. That's what it's like getting on social media or getting on the internet or trying to compete on Google with these millions and billions of voices all talking in the same space, sometimes about the same thing that you're talking about. So if you stepped into that room where 2 billion people were talking and you wanted to talk or say something, if you didn't have any type of distinguishing characteristics or did something unique that made you stood out, or there was something about you that made eyes turn to you, then you would be just another person among the billions of persons. So therefore, no one would pay you too much of any of attention. But that's the power of personal branding. So that, say, even though you may be in health and somebody else may be in health and somebody else may be in health, because of your personal brand and the platform that you have built online, you will stand out a little bit more because you have built a personal brand where people can feel a personal connection, or they get to know you beyond and above what you're saying and what you represent. So I just want to take it to the dictionary. I was online looking for just a definitive definition of what a brand is, just so I'm very, very clear. I don't want to ramble on what I think a brand is and da da da. And as with anything, there's so many different wording and ways of saying, what a brand is. So I got to this. I like this. This is on dictionary.com. And this is speaking of branding as a noun. It says a set of distinctive characteristics that establish a recognizable image or identity for a person or thing. So we're going to stick with that. A set of distinctive characteristics that establish a recognizable image or identity for a person or thing. So as I said with the analogy of you stepping into a room of 2 billion people talking and then you start talking, if you didn't have any distinctive characteristics that made you stand out, made you recognizable, then you get lost in the sauce, as they say. Now there are many, many brands in the world from many different areas. I just want to throw a few popular brands out, and what comes to mind when I say these brands? And don't judge them on whether you like or dislike their personal brand. Just stick to the principle that I'm throwing out brands and what associated thoughts come up when I mention the brand. McDonald's. McDonald's is a brand. McDonald's is a worldwide brand. Now, if I just say McDonald's because they're established in the minds of probably everyone, what comes up in your mind? Do you think Big Mac? Do you think Golden Arches? Do you think French fries? Do you think the fish? What is it? The McFish or the fish fillet sandwich? Do you think of cheeseburgers? Do you think of kids meals? That's McDonald's. That's a brand. That's something they've established where those things are associated with them. Say Beyonce. When I say Beyonce, what did you think? Did you think singer, superstar, billionaire, worldwide influence, mother, wife, fashion line? So many things come to mind when I say Beyonce or her husband, Jay-Z. What do you think? Rapper, businessman, influencer. So these are brands again. These are people who are brands. I gave an example of a company that was a brand, but also gave an example of people who are brands. And there are certain characteristics or things they are well known for that is associated with them as a brand. So, setting that foundation up, let's go to you and me and us. That with online tools now, we all have the ability to create a brand of ourselves. And brands all have in common a story, a origin story, or a story related to that brand, whether it's a business or a person. They all have a story. When we think of going back to McDonald's, we think about the McDonald's brothers and their humble origins of how they just wanted to start a business and they wanted to have food items that they would be able to sell and they would be able to make money and they'll be able to live a nice life without having to work a job and they will be able to live through that business. Or we may think of Ray Kroc, who came along and bought McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers and took it to the global enterprise that McDonald's is today. If we think of the story of Beyonce, we may think of her starting as a child, being on Star Search and being on music, going on competitions, and being a young girl, being in Destiny's Child, her going solo, her coming out with her first album, her being in the movies, her building her clothing line, her becoming a mega star. That is a story. Jay Z, the same thing. Other entities, the same thing. They all have a story. So, online, you are totally in control of the story that you desire to give to people. You tell your story through social media, you tell your story through a blog, you tell your story through a website. And one of the things about brand and personal branding is your brand is being established whether you intentionally do it or unintentionally do it. See, if you get online on social media and you're a gossiper, you keep drama, you keep mess going on as we see so often on social media, that's establishing to that's creating your personal brand. People say, man, don't go on so and so's page, man. They always keeping something going. They always gossiping. They always keeping mess. They're always keeping drama on their page. So you may not have intentionally tried to do so, but you have created a personal brand of yourself as a gossiper and a drama creator. So, but you can intentionally and purposely decide that you want to create a brand in a certain kind of way. Like if you get online and you talk about health every day, you have passion to talking about health, you talk about different foods and different things like that. Over time, you're creating a personal brand of which you're known for talking about exercise, showing ways of exercise, showing ways to get healthy. That's creating your personal brand. And then you tell the story behind why you are so passionate and committed to exercise and health. You may have tell a story that you had a health scare 5 years ago, and ever since that health scare, you've been committed to eating right, drinking water, exercising, living right, getting proper rest, and doing all things right. See, now you created a personal brand, and now you have a story connected to your personal brand. Also, character creates a personal brand. If you are a liar, if you're a person of no character, if you're a person that's always late, if you're a person that doesn't respect time, if you're a person who has so many character defects, then you are creating, again, through your character, a personal brand or story that people begin to associate with you. So tell the truth, be honest, respect time, so that you begin to build a personal brand about yourself with those great honorable characteristics. And personal branding is so important, and having character, integrity, being associated with your personal brand is so important, because as you go into business or you do online endeavors and your personal brand becomes associated with your business endeavors, it can either make you or break you. Because back in the 80s or 90s, if a business was bad, or a business person was bad, business owner was bad, you could call the company, you could tell your neighbor, your friend, or your buddy, and they may tell XYZ amount of people, but it was limited to a small circle of how many people you could tell about your bad business experience, or the customer service was bad, or the manager was bad. You were very limited in how you could express your grievances and get it outside of pretty much a little bubble. But now we are in the online era where it's nothing for somebody to go on your social media page, your website, go on these other review sites and leave a scathing review about you. And then they get their friends to leave scathing reviews about you. And before long, this becomes a dominant story about your company, about your person, about yourself. How many companies have we seen that have been taken down or have lost their good standing because you go into the reviews and it's so many negative reviews? It's so many people having bad customer service, interpersonal relationships with the personnel or people of that company. And we see that those negative reviews bring that company down or put a stain on that company, where so many people don't even want to have nothing to do with that company. I'm gonna tell you a story. There's a company here, a food restaurant that I like. I won't say where it's at because maybe there may be a clue to figure it out, but I don't want to defame them or bring any type of negative light to them, because I really like their food. But it's a company that I deal with, that's very popular, and a lot of people like to deal with them. They have a food item that is really, really good. It's the rage. I mean, people take a lot of effort of time to come get this item. And I love it. I've been eating it for a long time. But this particular company has a bad reputation with customer service. The people who serve you don't serve you with the most happiest of demeanor and the most respectful way as a paying customer. But the saving grace of this particular business is this particular food item is so good that so many people suffer the indignities and the pitiful customer service. They hold their nose because this item is so good. And I am the same, I'm kind of mad at them right now. I'm not dealing with them, but eventually I will, because this particular food item is so good that it'll make you just kind of hold your nose like, let me deal with this, but it's good. It's good going down. But this company has so many negative online reviews. I've never did one myself because I think enough people have already stated the case. But those online reviews, if you don't have like a super item like that that just make people, go crazy and come for you, those online reviews can sink you, especially if you're a new upstart or you haven't been established for 10, 20, 30 years or 100 years or more. You know, those reviews can actually break you, and they contribute to the perception of you, your personal brand, your business brand. So it's very important that you have honesty, character, integrity, that those are part of your personal brand as you do business online or elsewhere, but particularly online as we speak. Because again, when when we do business online, this is a whole new era. How many times have you, when you decide to do business with someone, you went to their social media page or you went to their business page and you kind of just wanted to feel them out personally. You wanted to see what they post about, what type of thing, conversations they're engaged and involved in. And based on your social media research, you may decide, this ain't the kind of person that I want to go into business with. If you're a woman, you may find that this person is kind of sexist. So, they don't respect women, so they definitely don't respect me, so I don't want to give them my business. Or you may think they're racist, or you may think they're um, against something that you hold near and dear. So, based on that observation, you decide not to do business with them. And there are so many examples of this. Even in employers, I forgot what the statistic was, but there's a statistic of a great number of employers have admitted to going and researching a applicant's social media presence to see what kind of person this is that's going to be working for my company. And based on poor social media presence, their personal brand, hiring managers have passed on applicants who may have been otherwise qualified, who may have aced an interview, but their personal brand on social media sunk them. So don't let that be you. Manage your personal brand, build your personal brand, do it day by day, step by step. You make sure your social media presence is clean, that you're showing character, integrity. Whatever you're interested in and interests you, share it and talk about it online through your social media platforms and channels, so that those things become associated with you and you become the go-to person for whatever your particular niche is. Make sure you tell it. Make sure you share your story of how you became passionate about this niche or niche, and make sure that story is spread and shared on a regular basis. Whatever you're knowledgeable on in your niche or niche, make sure you share information about it that can be of a useful nature to help others. Use an example of, if you're into health, share health related. If you're into tech, share tech related information that will help someone. If you're into self improvement and community engagement, then you share those things that are helpful to others and show them how they can become engaged with community. Show them how you're working to improve the community and steps they can take to help improve the community. So that, these are things that become your personal brand. These become your calling card where they say, man, somebody may not know you, but they may be asking, do you know anybody that does XYZ? And you may say, yeah, it's this guy on social media. Man, he always talking about XYZ. Yeah, I think he can help you. I think he'll be a good fit. Or man, do you know somebody that do ABC? Yeah, I know this lady, man. She's on social media. She's always putting recipes. She's always talking about catering. She's always talking about, what she's finna come up with next. I think she'll be a perfect match for you. Let me put you in contact with her. This is her social media handle. Get with her. So your personal brand can do so much for you. It can lift you up. It can make you successful, but also a negative personal brand can sink you. It can repel people away from you. It can sink your business. It can close doors. It can make you lose job opportunities or career advancement. So make sure you're checking out your personal brand. Take a few moments after hearing this message and just reflect on, what do you think your personal brand is? Go back for the past few 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, or a month, and check the type of things that you are consistently posting on social media. And check the quality of those things that you're posting on social media. Check out the story that you have told on social media. Check out the kind of pictures and things that you put on social media. Because over time, whether you intend or not, those things are creating or have created your personal brand. And if you don't like the personal brand that has been developed of you up to this point in time, it may take time, but you have to change your story. You have to create a new story about what you are about. You have to start posting new things and better things and greater things so that over time, the old story about you, the old personal brand about you, can kind of fade into the rear view, and a new you emerges telling a new story, saying new things that becomes your new and improved personal brand. I'm not saying it's going to be done overnight, but you can turn a corner and start telling a new story. So this is Mustafaa, your digital marketing specialist. Just wanted to share those thoughts about personal branding, your business branding, and being successful online. It's very, very important that you have that personal brand, because if you become an author, if you produce, all this great content, if you create this great blog, if you create this business, you create this merch, you are competing upstream with so many people that's doing the same thing. And what's going to help you stand out and distinguish you is a strong personal brand, so that you don't become just another merch seller, another book publisher, another content creator. You become say your name content creator. You become say your name the merch seller. You become say your name the author. You become say your name the influencer, the social media personality. You become that person who does what you do. Okay? So this is Mustafaa, your digital marketing specialist. Check us out on my social media channels. I am on Facebook under your digital marketing specialist. I'm on Instagram under your digital marketing specialist. I'm on YouTube under your digital marketing specialist. Um, I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Of course, I'm on podcasts under your digital marketing specialist. My mind just went blank. I'm sorry. But just check me out. Keep in touch with me. Oh yeah, our new website is up and ready, and it's digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. That's digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. That's my new website, which will connect you to me. It will tell my story. It will tell you the services that I provide as a digital marketing specialist. It has a blog connected to you where I have a lot of written articles and helpful tools and information that will help you in your online journey, personal branding, digital marketing, and associated pillars of that. Check it out. Digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. I think you'll enjoy some things, and it's only going to grow and get better. So thank you for checking out this podcast episode. I will see you again on another episode.